Have you ever had a principal who valued their perfect record over your life? I was at graduation rehearsal with 500 seniors when Principal Hoffman's phone rang. He answered, went white, and hung up. He announced someone called in a bomb threat, but it was obviously a prank, so nobody moved. Dead silence. Kayla raised her hand asking, shouldn't we evacuate? His neck turned red. Anyone who leaves won't walk at graduation tomorrow. You'll get your diploma in the mail. 500 of us sat frozen. The choice was simple. Risk dying or lose everything we'd worked for. 20 minutes passed and we were still sitting there practicing graduation. Nobody was paying attention anymore. Everyone kept looking at each other, wondering if this was real or not. My phone buzzed. My mom texting me over and over asking if I was okay. She'd heard from someone that there was a bomb threat at our school. My stomach dropped. I showed the kid next to me and his face went white. Soon everyone was checking their phones under their graduation robes. Parents were texting their kids the same thing. Is there really a bomb threat? Why aren't you evacuating? A girl in front of me started crying. A dad in the audience stood up to leave with his kid, but Principal Hoffman pointed at him and said if anyone left, their child wouldn't graduate tomorrow. The dad sat back down. This was insane. Principal Hoffman was sweating through his shirt now, and his face was bright red, but he kept reading from his script like everything was normal. His hands were shaking so bad he could barely hold the papers. Then we heard sirens in the distance. Everyone jumped. The sound made it real somehow. A kid behind me threw up on the floor. The smell was awful. 2 more kids started gagging. I kept staring at the fire alarm on the wall, thinking someone should pull it, but nobody moved. We were all frozen, afraid of losing our graduation. Principal Hoffman's phone on the podium kept buzzing and buzzing. It was vibrating so hard it was moving across the wood. He kept declining the calls without even looking. Every time he hit decline, I felt sicker. Those had to be important calls. Maybe the police, maybe someone trying to warn us. But he just kept hitting decline and reading his script. 20 minutes of this. 20 minutes of sitting there knowing there might be a bomb while our principal pretended everything was fine. That's when a mom in the audience stood up and yelled that every other school in the district had been evacuated except ours. She knew because her sister worked at the district office. Principal Hoffman screamed at her that she was lying and needed to leave. His voice cracked and spit flew from his mouth. He was completely losing it. 3 more kids threw up. The whole auditorium smelled like vomit and sweat now. We were trapped. The auditorium only had small windows up high, so we couldn't even see on outside. It felt like being buried alive. A girl next to me grabbed my arm and asked what we should do. Her hand was shaking. That's when something in me just snapped. All the fear turned into this weird calm feeling. I stood up and said I was pulling the fire alarm. The whole auditorium went silent. Principal Hoffman's face turned purple. You pull that alarm and I'll have you arrested. You'll never get into college. I'll ruin your life. But I was already walking toward the wall. His threats didn't matter anymore. All I could think about was those school tragedies where kids didn't make it out because someone waited too long. My legs felt heavy, but they kept moving. I could hear people whispering. Someone said do it. Someone else was crying. I smashed the glass with my elbow. It cut through my graduation robe and into my arm. Blood soaked the white fabric, but I didn't care. I pulled the handle. The alarm was so loud it hurt. Instantly, 500 people jumped up and ran for the exits. It was like a dam breaking. Principal Hoffman tried to block the main door, but the crowd just pushed him aside into the wall. He was still screaming about graduation being ruined as everyone ran past him. We all just wanted out. Nothing else mattered except getting out of that building. Police cars screamed into the parking lot right as we got outside. They'd been trying to reach us for 40 minutes. The bomb squad's robot rolled in, and 3 hours later came out. The officer's face was gray when he told us they'd found a device in the ceiling tiles, right above where 2,000 people would have sat tomorrow. Principal Hoffman kept mumbling, just a prank, while they cuffed him. They had recordings of 12 declined emergency calls. At graduation the next day, when they called my name, the entire crowd stood up. Principal Hoffman got 5 years.